HTML formatting uses tags to control text appearance such as bold, italics, and underlining to enhance content presentation. Let's begin with bold text. In HTML, making text bold is straightforward using the B element. Here's an example of how it's done. This code will produce the following result. The following word uses a bold typeface. It's a simple yet effective way to highlight important text. Next, let's look at italic text. To italicize text in HTML, you'll use the I element. Here's how you can do it. This will produce the following result. The following word uses an italicized typeface. Italics are great for emphasizing certain parts of your content. Now, let's add an underline to your text. This is done using the U element in HTML. Here's an example. And here's the result. The following word uses an underlined typeface. Underlining can be used to draw attention to key points. Next up is strike-through text. This effect is achieved using the strike element. It's perfect for showing edits or changes in your content. Let me show you how. This will give you the following word uses a strike-through typeface. It's commonly used to indicate deletions or corrections. If you need to display text in a monospaced font, where every character has the same width, use the TT element. Here's an example of monospaced text. And the result will be the following word uses a monospaced typeface. This is particularly useful when displaying code or tabular data. Now let's talk about superscript text. Superscript text appears slightly above the regular text line. To achieve this, use the sup element. This will produce the following word uses a superscript typeface. Superscripts are commonly used in mathematical expressions and footnotes. Let's start with subscript text. Subscript text is commonly used in mathematical expressions or chemical formulas where certain characters need to appear slightly below the baseline. In HTML, this effect is achieved using the sub-element. Here's an example. This code will produce the following result. The following word uses a subscript typeface. Notice how the word subscript is slightly lower than the surrounding text, making it perfect for scientific notations. Next, let's look at inserted text. Inserted text is useful for showing changes or additions to a document. The ins element allows you to mark text as inserted, and it usually appears with an underline. Here's how you can use it. This will produce the following result. I want to drink wine, and wine underlined, indicating a change in the text. Similarly, deleted text can be marked using the del element. This is often used to show text that has been removed from a document, typically appearing with a strike-through. Let's see it in action with the same example. The result will be the same, I want to drink wine, but this time focusing on how the word cola is clearly marked as deleted with a strike-through. Now, let's talk about adjusting text size without using CSS. If you want to make your text larger, you can use the big element. This will increase the font size by one level relative to the surrounding text. Here's an example. This will produce the following result. The following word uses a big typeface. As you can see, the word big is displayed in a slightly larger font size. Conversely, if you want to make text smaller, the small element will reduce the font size by one level. This can be useful for disclaimers or fine print. Let's look at an example. This will give you the following word uses a small typeface. The word small is now in a slightly reduced font size. Finally, let's explore how to group content using div and span elements. These elements are fundamental for structuring your web page. The div element is used to group block level content, while the span element is used to group inline content. Here's an example of both in action. This code will produce a simple menu bar with content beneath it. The menu is grouped using a div element, which allows for easy styling and positioning, while the spanned elements are used to style specific parts of the text within a paragraph. HTML phrase tags add meaning and context to text, enhancing structure and SEO, unlike basic tags like B or I. First up is emphasized text. When you want to highlight a word or phrase with emphasis, you use the EM element. This typically renders the text in italics. Let's see how it works. This will produce the following result. The following word uses an emphasized typeface. Notice how the word emphasized is italicized to show its importance. Next, we have mark text. The mark element is used to highlight text with a yellow background, similar to how you would use a highlighter pen. Here's an example. This will result in the following word has been marked with yellow. The word mark stands out with a yellow background, making it easy to spot. Strong text is another important phrase tag. It's used to indicate text that is of strong importance, typically rendering it in bold. The tag to use here is strong. Let's see it in action. This code will produce the following word uses a strong typeface. The word strong is bolded to emphasize its importance. Text abbreviations are handled using the AB element. This tag is particularly useful when you want to provide the full form of an abbreviation in a tooltip. Here's how it works. This will display my best friend's name is Abhi. When you hover over Abhi, you'll see a tooltip showing the full name Abhishek. The acronym element allows you to define text as an acronym. Although most modern browsers don't visually distinguish the content within an acronym tag, it's still a useful semantic tool. Let's see an example. This code will display this chapter covers marking up text in XHTML. Even though the acronym isn't visually different, it helps provide context to screen readers and search engines. The BDU element, which stands for bidirectional override, is used to change the direction of text. This can be particularly useful for languages that are read right to left. Let's look at an example. This will produce this text will go left to right and this text will go right to left. The BDU element effectively reverses the text direction. Next, we have special terms. The DFN element is used to introduce a new term, often rendering it in italics. It's useful when you're defining something for the first time. Let's see an example. This will display the following word is a special term with the word special italicized to indicate its significance. When quoting a longer passage from another source, you can use the block quote element. This tag typically indents the text and may apply italic formatting. Here's how it's done. This will produce the following description of XHTML is taken from the W3C website, followed by an indented block of text quoting the W3C's description of XHTML 1. For shorter quotations within a sentence, the Q element is the way to go. This tag is useful for embedding short quotes within your text. Let's see an example. This will produce Amit is in Spain. I think I am wrong with the quote properly enclosed in double quotes. When citing sources, the cite element is your go-to tag. It typically renders text in italics, just like in a print publication. Let's check out an example. This will produce this HTML tutorial is derived from W3 standard for HTML with the source citation italicized. For displaying programming code on a web page, use the code element. This tag usually renders the text in a monospaced font, making it stand out. Let's see an example. This will produce regular text. This is code. Regular text with the code text standing out in a monospaced font. When discussing keyboard input, the KBD element can be used to indicate what the user should type. It's often rendered in a monospaced font. Here's an example. This will result in regular text. This is inside KBD element regular text, where the text inside the KBD element is highlighted to show it's a keyboard input. When representing variables in programming code, the var element is used. It's typically paired with pre-encode elements. Let's look at an example. This will produce document.write user-name with username highlighted as a variable. The samp element is used to display sample output from a program or script. It's usually used in documentation. Let's see it in action. This will display result produced by the program is Hello World, where Hello World is highlighted as output. Finally, the address element is used to define contact information. This is how you might structure an address on a web page. This will produce 388A, Road No 22, Jubilee Hills, Hyderabad, neatly formatted as an address. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and click the bell icon to learn coding with me. We'll meet in the next video.